Welcome back to the Metabolic Revolution podcast. I'm Dr. Steve Presciutti, and if you're listening to this, you're about to understand why everything you've been taught about weight loss is backwards. Completely, utterly backwards. Quick reminder before we dive in, this podcast is for educational purposes only, not medical advice. Always consult with your healthcare provider before making significant dietary changes. Now, let's destroy some paradigms. This is the episode that's going to save thousands of people from quitting their metabolic healing journey, because what I'm about to share is the difference between people who heal permanently and those who stay trapped in diet prison forever. There's the hard truth. When you start eating pro-metabolically, when you finally feed your starving cells, you're probably going to gain some weight. 5 pounds, 10 pounds even. That's not uncommon. I've even seen 15 pounds from time to time. And if you don't understand what's happening, most people are very tempted to panic, quit, and stay metabolically broken. Episode: The Healing Weight Paradox. Why your scale is about to betray you and why that's actually good news. You're about to eat 2,000 plus calories, gain 10 pounds in 2 weeks, and it's going to be the best thing that ever happened to your metabolism. Dr. Steve Presciutti exposes the truth that's helped hundreds of his patients finally escape diet prison. Those first 5 to 20 pounds you gain when you start eating real food again. That's not fat. That's your liver desperately refilling glycogen stores. Your muscles rehydrating after years of starvation. Your minerals restocking. Your cells literally coming back to life. In this game-changing episode, you'll discover why Michelle gained 12 pounds eating 2,000 calories, then lost 35 pounds total in 3 months. Why Sarah gained 18 pounds in her first month, then dropped 65 pounds eating 2,600 calories daily. Why the Minnesota Starvation Experiment proved that weight gain during recovery is mandatory, not optional. Dr. Presciutti reveals exactly how to tell if you're gaining healing weight. Hint: check your temperature, not your scale. Why week 6 is the magic turning point, and the specific foods that accelerate metabolic recovery. Plus, the critical fat percentage mistake that causes unnecessary weight gain when eating adequate carbs. Warning: this episode will make you throw your scale in the garage for 6 weeks. It will also give you permission to finally eat enough food to heal. If you've been stuck at the same weight eating 1,200 calories, doing endless cardio, and feeling like death, this is your blueprint to freedom. Your body isn't broken, it's starving. And the solution is the opposite of everything diet culture taught you. There's the hard truth. When you start eating pro-metabolically, when you finally feed your starving cells, you're probably going to gain some weight. 5 pounds, 10 pounds even. That's not uncommon. I've even seen 15 pounds from time to time. And if you don't understand what's happening, most people are very tempted to panic, quit, and stay metabolically broken. But those who understand what I'm about to tell you, they push through those first 6 weeks and lose more weight than they ever dreamed possible, all while eating more food than they have in years. I've seen it hundreds of times. Let me tell you about a recent client named Michelle. 43 years old, been dieting since she was 16. When she came to me, she was eating 1,100 calories a day, doing CrossFit 5 times a week. Her weight? Stuck at 180 pounds for 2 years. Her morning temperature? 96.2 degrees. She was exhausted, losing hair, and her periods had stopped. Classic metabolic destruction. Her body was in full survival mode. We started her on our protocol. Real food, 2,000 calories. Adequate carbs, that's 200 to 250 grams. Moderate fat, only 15% of calories because she was overweight. Proper meal timing. Within 10 days, she'd gained 12 pounds. She called me in tears. This isn't working. I'm getting fatter. I knew I was broken. I told her what I'm about to tell you. Michelle, you're not gaining fat. Your body is saving your life. 6 weeks later, still eating over 2,000 calories, she'd lost those 12 pounds plus another 8. 3 months later, she was down 35 pounds total, eating 2,400 calories a day. Temperature normalized. Energy through the roof. But if she'd quit at day 10, she'd still be stuck at 180, exhausted, thinking her metabolism was destroyed. Here's what's actually happening when you gain that initial weight. And once you understand this, you'll never fear the scale again. Your body has multiple storage systems that get depleted when you're undereating. Not just fat stores, but survival reserves that your body needs to function. When you've been restricting, these reserves are empty, completely drained. First, glycogen. Your liver should store 80 to 120 grams of glycogen. That's your quick-release energy fund. Your muscles? They should hold 400 to 500 grams. But when you've been low-carb or restricting calories, these stores are empty. Bone dry. Here's the kicker. Every gram of glycogen binds with 3 grams of water. Do the math. 500 grams of muscle glycogen plus 100 grams of liver glycogen, that's 600 grams, plus 1,800 grams of water. That's 2,400 grams, over 5 pounds, just in glycogen and water. Not fat, energy reserves. When you start eating adequate carbohydrates again, and I'm talking 200 to 300 grams a day, not the pathetic 50 grams the keto cult recommends, your body frantically refills these stores. The scale goes up, you panic, but you're not getting fatter, you're becoming functional. And here's what's critical to understand. When you're eating these adequate carbs, you must keep fat moderate, 15 to 20% of total calories, no more. The high carb plus high fat combination that some people try, that's what causes actual fat gain. The magic is adequate carbs with controlled fat. Let me blow your mind with some history. The Minnesota Starvation Experiment, 1944. They took healthy men and restricted their calories to study starvation recovery. When they started refeeding these men, every single one gained weight initially. The researchers documented that body water percentage increased dramatically during the recovery phase. These were literally starving men, and they gained weight when they started eating again. Not because they were getting fat, but because healthy tissue holds more water than dying tissue. Your cells, when they're properly fed, are plump and hydrated. When they're starving, they're shriveled and dehydrated. The weight you gain initially, it's your cells coming back to life. During the first 6 weeks of metabolic recovery, your scale is useless. Worse than useless, it's destructive, because everything is in flux. Week 1, glycogen refilling rapidly, up 3 to 5 pounds easily. Week 2, minerals restoring, sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium, another 2 to 3 pounds. Week 3, hormones adjusting, thyroid coming online, water retention shifting. Week 4, digestive system adapting, stomach capacity normalizing, fluctuations daily. Week 5, inflammation resolving, sometimes dramatic drops as inflammatory water releases. Week 6, finally, stabilization. Now the scale starts telling the truth. But here's what else is happening during those 6 weeks. Your morning temperature rises. Even 0.3 degrees is massive. That's hundreds of extra calories burned daily. Your pulse strengthens and regularizes. Your heart is getting the fuel it needs. Your afternoon energy returns. No more 3 p.m. crashes. Your sleep deepens. Real restoration, not just unconsciousness. Your hair stops falling out. Your nails strengthen. Your skin improves. These are the real markers, not the lying scale. When you've been restricting, your cells shift into survival mode. They downregulate everything non-essential. They shrink. They reduce their metabolic rate. They're trying not to die. Start feeding them properly, and they shift back to thriving mode. This requires resources, minerals, water, substrates for energy production. All of this has weight. Your mitochondria, those powerhouses we talk about, they literally change their structure when properly fed. They develop more cristae, more surface area for energy production. They require more cofactors, more minerals, more of everything. And this is healing weight, not problem weight. Now this is critical. Healing weight comes with metabolic improvements. Problem weight, actual fat gain from overeating, comes with metabolic suppression. Here's how to tell the difference. When you're gaining healing weight, your temperature is rising, even 0.2 degrees counts. Your pulse is strengthening, moving towards 75 to 85 beats per minute. Your energy is increasing, especially that afternoon energy that's been missing for years. Your sleep is improving, becoming deeper and more restorative. Your mood is stabilizing. Goodbye anxiety and depression that came from cellular starvation. Your cravings are decreasing because your cells are finally fed. Your extremities are warming up. Your hands and feet aren't freezing anymore. Now, if you're gaining problem weight, actual fat from overeating, it looks completely different. Your temperature is dropping or staying low. Your pulse is weakening or becoming irregular. Your energy is decreasing. Your sleep is worsening. Your mood is destabilizing. Your cravings are increasing. You're feeling cold all the time. If you're eating pro-metabolically, a so-called energy-based diet, and experiencing that first set of improvements while gaining weight, you're healing. Keep going. If you're experiencing the second set of symptoms, we need to adjust the approach. Look, I know this is a lot to process. You've been programmed your whole life to fear weight gain, to worship the scale, to believe that eating less is always better, that programming is killing you. Our Energy Essentials mini course, only $39, breaks down exactly how to eat for metabolic healing. No confusion, no complexity, just clear guidance on how to feed your cells without fear. Go to energy.biosparkhealth.com. Again, a one-time cost of only $39. It's tremendous value as it contains almost 2 hours of high-quality video lessons, multiple downloadable guides, special discounts on our favorite supplements, etc., and I'm confident it will completely reframe how you think about food and weight. Let's talk about minerals, because this is huge and I don't hear many others addressing it. When you're restricting, especially if you've been avoiding salt or following low carb, your mineral stores often become devastated. Calcium, your bones are literally demineralizing to maintain blood calcium levels. Magnesium, your muscles are depleted, causing cramps and tension. Potassium, cellular pumps are failing without adequate levels. Sodium, blood volume is reduced, blood pressure dropping too low. But if you start eating pro-metabolically with adequate minerals, your body frantically restores these stores. Your bones remineralize. Your muscles restock magnesium. Your cells reestablish proper mineral gradients. All of this has weight, but it's the weight of cellular functionality, the weight of bones that won't break, muscles that won't cramp, cells that can actually produce energy. Dr. Ray Peat has pointed out research that shows that proper calcium status alone is able to increase metabolic rate by an incredible 15 to 20%. But calcium has weight too. So does magnesium. So does potassium. This mineral restoration can easily account for some added weight too. Not extra weight as fat, but as minerals. Sarah came to me after trying everything: keto, carnivore, vegan, fasting, you name it. She was 38, eating 1,300 calories, weight stuck at 195. Her temperature was 96.4. She was on thyroid medication that wasn't working, exhausted, depressed, ready to give up. First month on our protocol, eating 2,100 calories, adequate carbs at 250 grams, protein at 90 grams, and here's the crucial part: fat at only 35 grams, about 15% of calories. She gained 18 pounds. 18. She almost quit weekly, but her temperature hit 97.2. Her energy started returning. Her mood lifted. See? When you're eating adequate carbs to support your thyroid and metabolism, you have to keep fat moderate. This is what people get wrong. They try to eat high carb and high fat together, and that's a recipe for unnecessary weight gain. The magic ratio is higher carbs with controlled fat. For dietary fat intake, as a percentage of total daily calories, I usually recommend around 20% fat intake if you're overweight, and closer to 30% if you're lean and active. Okay, back to Sarah. I convinced her to put the scale in the garage. Give me 6 more weeks, I said. I asked her to track temperature and pulse, not weight. By week 7, down 5 pounds. Week 8, down 4 more pounds. Week 9, down another 6. And by week 12, she was down another 8 pounds. 3 months total, down 5 pounds net, but her body composition was completely different, eating 2,300 calories every day. Her body temperature was at 98.2, and she said that her energy was, quote, incredible. 6 months later, she was down 45 pounds total, and 1 year later, down 65 pounds. She was maintaining her weight at 130, and here's the kicker, while eating 2,600 calories per day. If she'd quit when the scale went up initially, she'd still more than likely be at 195 miserable, thinking she was broken, that something was wrong with her. But here's something nobody talks about. When you've been restricting, Your stomach literally reduces its functional capacity. Not permanently, but it adapts to the tiny amounts you're eating. Start eating normal amounts, and I'm talking normal, like 600 to 800 calorie meals, not binge eating, and your stomach has to readjust. This causes temporary bloating, fullness, discomfort. People panic. I'm so full, I must be overeating. Sorry, but that's not what's quite happening. Your digestive system is literally relearning how to handle normal amounts of food. Your stomach is regaining normal capacity. Your digestive enzyme production is ramping up. Your gut motility is normalizing. This adjustment takes 2 to 3 weeks typically. Then suddenly, that same amount of food feels comfortable, normal. Your digestion improves dramatically. But if you quit during the adjustment phase because you feel full, you stay broken. Okay, now this one really messes with people's heads. Sometimes when you start eating pro-metabolically, your exercise performance might temporarily decrease. You feel heavier, slower, less explosive. Here's why. You've been running on stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline. Your body was cannibalizing muscle for fuel. Remember, that's not performance, that's survival. But when you start eating properly, those stress hormones drop. Your body shifts from breaking down to building up. Initially, this feels like less energy. But it's not. It's just the absence of stress chemistry. Give it 4 to 6 weeks. Once your cells adapt to running on real fuel instead of stress, your performance explodes. Almost everyone reports that they recover faster, that it's much easier to build and maintain muscle. And they report having real endurance, not cortisol-fueled fake energy. If you're ready to do this right, to push through the initial gain with complete confidence because you understand what's happening, our Bioenergetic Reset program is designed for exactly this journey. We guide you through those critical first 6 weeks when the scale is lying. We help you track the markers that actually matter. We adjust your protocol based on your individual response. The people in our program who trust the process through the initial gain are seeing 30, 40, even 50-pound losses while eating more than they have in years. Real permanent weight loss, not temporary water manipulation. Learn more at biosparkhealth.com/reset. We start new groups monthly, and spots fill up fast because people are getting life-changing results. Okay, moving on. Let's talk thyroid, because this is huge. When you've been restricting for long periods of time, your thyroid downregulates massively. T3, your active thyroid hormone, can drop by 40 to 50%. This is because, of course, in these restricted states, your body is trying to conserve energy by slowing everything down. It's not a downside. It's a necessary survival mechanism. But here's the good news. If you start eating adequately, especially carbohydrates, your thyroid can, and often does, start coming back online. I see it happen all the time with my clients. T3 production increases. T4 to T3 conversion improves. Every cell in your body starts functioning at a higher level. But here's what happens initially. As thyroid hormone increases, your cells take up more water and nutrients. They're literally expanding back to normal size. They're increasing their protein synthesis, building more mitochondria, creating more enzymes. All of this shows up as weight gain on the scale. But again, it's not fat, it's your metabolism coming back to life. It's the weight of a functioning thyroid, the weight of cells that can actually produce energy. Within 4 to 6 weeks, this stabilizes. Then the magic happens. That higher thyroid function means you're burning hundreds more calories daily, everything else equal. And when this happens, that's when I start to see the weight really starting to falling off. But now, that weight loss, it's actual fat loss, not just muscle and organ wasting. The other thing to keep in mind is that chronic undereating creates systemic inflammation. That's because your body is constantly stressed under these conditions, constantly breaking down its own tissue for fuel, constantly in emergency mode. And this inflammation holds massive amounts of water. When you start eating properly, initially inflammation might slightly increase as your body begins repair processes. It's like the inflammation after a workout, necessary for healing. But around week 4 to 6, something dramatic happens. Inflammation plummets. Suddenly you're losing 3 to 5 pounds in a few days as inflammatory water releases. Your joints stop hurting. Your face depuffs. Your rings fit again. This is why you must push through those first 4 to 6 weeks. The inflammation resolution alone can account for 5 to 10 pounds of water loss once your body realizes it's safe. Your liver is metabolic command central. When it has adequate glycogen stores, everything works better. Thyroid hormone conversion, blood sugar regulation, detoxification, protein synthesis, all optimized. But when you've been restricting, liver glycogen is depleted. Your liver is stressed, struggling to maintain blood sugar through gluconeogenesis, making glucose from protein. This is metabolically expensive and stressful. Start eating adequate carbs, and your liver frantically refills its glycogen stores. This happens fast, within 24 to 48 hours of proper feeding. You might gain 2 to 3 pounds just from liver glycogen and its associated water. But now your liver can function properly. T4 converts to T3 efficiently. Blood sugar stabilizes without stress hormones. Detoxification improves. Protein synthesis increases. This is why people feel so much better so quickly when they start eating properly, even though the scale goes up. Their liver is finally functional. Look, I get it. This is scary. You've been burned before, you've gained weight on other programs, and it wasn't healing weight, it was just weight. That's why our one-on-one coaching exists. We look at your specific situation, your history, your symptoms, your response to food. We guide you personally through those critical first weeks. We help you understand exactly what's happening in your body. Not generic advice, but specific targeted support based on your temperature, pulse, symptoms, and progress. Apply at biosparkhealth.com/programs. We only take limited clients to ensure everyone gets the attention they deserve. But if you're ready to finally heal, with personal guidance through the scary parts, this is your fastest path. Okay, what about sleep? When you start eating properly, your sleep can sometimes change dramatically. Initially, you might need more sleep, like 8 to 9 hours per night. This is because your body is catching up on years of restoration it couldn't do while starving. This isn't laziness or thyroid problems. This is healing. During deep sleep, your body repairs tissue, balances hormones, consolidates memory, clears metabolic waste. When you've been restricting, this barely happens. Feed your cells properly, and suddenly there's repair work to do. Lots of it. So you sleep more deeply, longer, and wake up actually refreshed instead of exhausted. But after a few weeks, something beautiful happens. You start needing less sleep, but feeling more rested. 7 to 8 hours feels perfect. You wake up with energy instead of dread. Let me break down exactly what to expect week by week so you're not surprised. Weeks 1 to 2, rapid glycogen refilling. Scale up 3 to 8 pounds typically. Energy starting to improve. Temperature beginning to rise. Digestion adjusting. Weeks 3 to 4, mineral restoration continuing, hormones beginning to regulate, some water retention from cellular healing, sleep deepening, mood stabilizing. Weeks 5 to 6, the magic zone, initial adaptations completing, inflammation resolving, true fat loss beginning, energy high and stable, temperature normalized. Week 7 and beyond, consistent fat loss while eating abundant food, metabolism humming, exercise performance improving, life-changing. If you quit before week 6, you miss everything. Every single person who trusts the process through week 6 sees dramatic results. Every single one. The hardest part isn't physical, it's mental. You've been programmed since childhood to fear weight gain, to worship the scale, to believe hunger is virtue and fullness is failure. Breaking this programming while your scale is going up, it's the hardest thing you'll ever do, but also the most important. Because once you break free from diet culture's lies, you're free forever. No more restriction, no more suffering, no more metabolic destruction, just a body that works the way it's supposed to. Write this down and put it on your mirror. The scale going up while my temperature rises and energy improves is proof my body is healing. Read it every morning. Believe it. Because it's the truth. Your body temperature is the most honest marker of metabolic health. Way more honest than the scale. When you're eating properly, your temperature should rise. Even 0.2 degrees is significant. That's roughly 100 to 150 extra calories burned daily just from increased metabolic rate. Get your temperature from 96.5 to 98.0. That's 300 to 400 extra calories burned every single day. But as temperature rises, your cells hold slightly more water to maintain proper function at the higher temperature. This is healthy, necessary water, not bloat. Track your temperature every morning, under the tongue, before getting out of bed. Watch it rise week by week. This is your real progress marker, not the scale. If you've been training while restricting, your muscles are essentially dehydrated and depleted. They're smaller than they should be, not from lack of muscle tissue, but from lack of muscle glycogen and cellular hydration. Start eating properly, and your muscles supercompensate. They fill with glycogen, they increase protein synthesis, they literally inflate back to their proper size. Bodybuilders call this filling out. Your muscles look fuller, rounder, more athletic. But the scale goes up 5 to 7 pounds just from muscle glycogen and cellular hydration. This is why measurements matter more than scale weight. Measure your waist, hips, arms, thighs. Watch your waist shrink while your muscles fill out. Your shape completely changes even if the scale goes up. Let me rapid fire some client results to drive this home. Jennifer gained 15 pounds first month, lost 55 pounds total in 6 months, eating 2,400 calories. Mark gained 8 pounds first 2 weeks, lost 35 pounds in 4 months. Testosterone doubled. Lisa gained 22 pounds first 6 weeks, lost 70 pounds in 1 year, off thyroid medication. David gained 12 pounds first month, lost 40 pounds in 5 months. PR'd his marathon. Every single one almost quit during the initial gain. Every single one is now grateful they didn't. Certain foods speed up this process. Ripe fruits, simple sugars rapidly restore liver glycogen. Fructose specifically refills liver stores. Quality dairy, calcium increases metabolic rate. Protein supports tissue repair. Probiotics improve digestion. Orange juice, potassium, folate, and simple sugars. Incredible for thyroid function. White rice, easy to digest carbohydrates that don't irritate the gut. Bone broth, glycine, proline, minerals. Supports gut healing and protein balance. Seafood, selenium, iodine, quality protein, everything your thyroid needs. Saturated fats, butter, coconut oil, quality animal fats. Support hormone production, but here's the key. Keep them moderate. We're talking 20 to 30% of your total calories from fat, closer to 20% if you're carrying extra weight, and up to 30% if you're more active. This is crucial. When you're eating adequate carbohydrates, 200 to 300 grams a day, sometimes more, you can't also eat high fat. That combination will make you gain unnecessary weight. The magic is higher carbs with moderate fat. This allows your thyroid to function while keeping unnecessary weight gain at bay. Here's what it comes down to. You can either gain 5 to 10 pounds temporarily while healing your metabolism, then lose 30 to 50 pounds permanently, or you can stay terrified of the scale, keep restricting, and stay broken forever. The choice is yours, but I'll tell you this. In 15 years of practice, I've never seen someone regret pushing through the initial gain. Not once. But I've seen hundreds regret quitting too soon. Your body wants to heal. It's designed to heal. You just have to give it the resources and trust the process. Those first 6 weeks when the scale lies, that's your body frantically trying to save your life. Let it. Next week, I'm exposing the most terrifying study in nutrition history, the Minnesota Starvation Experiment, where they discovered that when you restrict calories, 33% of your weight loss is muscle. Your heart shrinks by 30%, your liver drops to half its size, your intestines literally atrophy. And here's the kicker. This happens even with moderate restriction, even if you're overweight. That 1,500 calorie diet you're on, your body is eating itself alive. Your organs are shrinking. Your brain might be replacing tissue with water. I'm going to show you exactly what happens when your body cannibalizes itself for fuel, and why every day you stay in restriction is a day you're destroying organs you can never fully get back. This is Dr. Steve Presciutti reminding you, you came to the right place. Your metabolism isn't broken. It's suppressed. And suppression is reversible. You just have to be brave enough to feed yourself while your body remembers how to work. Everything I've shared today is educational only. Work with a qualified healthcare provider who understands metabolic health to create your individualized approach. The scale is lying to you. Your temperature is telling the truth. Trust the process. Your life is waiting on the other side of those first 6 weeks.